Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So judgments and things that are annoying us in other people. This is such good shadow work, and obviously I know we all probably know about this if you're on my channel. Obviously I've done all these things before as well, but it's always good to have a reminder. I know for me, I sort of do it for a bit and then I kind of forget shadow work for a bit, and you allow yourself to free run for a bit before you kind of rein yourself back in. So the shadow side, and I do love doing shadow work. I don't like to do it constantly because then I think you can end up going around in loops, but I think it's a really good practice to tap into, and because it's the most difficult kind of uncomfortable work, because they're things that we want to repress so much that we really don't want to face them, and we would rather point at other people and project it outwards than we would deal with it and accept it and actually own it. And the thing with judgments is it's a bit of a dirty word, right? There's a lot of people that walk around and they say, oh, don't judge anybody, I don't judge anybody, and then you'll see them like actually judge somebody for judging somebody. And that's a black hole with judgment. You know, there's a lot of righteous people that are like, oh, I'm beyond judgment, look at you, judging people, and then essentially they're judging people for judging people, and the rabbit hole spirals, and people tend to kind of go quiet when you point that out. But there's totally normal to judge people, in my opinion. If anyone walks around, or if 99.9% of the population walk around, they're like, I don't judge anybody, I don't judge. I'm going to call bullshit, to be honest, because you're probably judging them up here. And you're just pretending that you don't judge them out there. So really it's just inauthentic. So I believe in authenticity, and I believe in owning judgments, and I believe in not trying to repress them. Obviously, we do want to integrate judgments, and a lot of the time when we're judging somebody, it's actually because we judge ourselves, as we know, and we just really, really don't want to face it. We don't want to deal with it. And the things that annoy us in other people are actually some traits that would be very useful for us to take on, but we don't have them. And it's kind of why we almost get annoyed with people, because we can't believe that it's so easy for them or they can do it. And I really think it's an amazing practice to write down, I don't know, the top 3 things that annoy you in other people, that really annoy you. And then to actually be honest with yourself and think, actually, is there some part of that would be useful to take on in my own life? Could those traits actually be useful? Maybe not in their full extreme. Like, for example, arrogance. You know, I'm not saying to go out there and be crazy arrogant, but maybe if it really, really, really annoys you and gets you, maybe it's because you're not arrogant enough, and you don't value yourself enough, and you have like quite a low self-esteem, and you don't have much confidence to put yourself out there. So maybe taking on a very mild trait of arrogance is what you need. I have a friend actually, and she's to me the perfect example of this. Sorry if I got something weird on my cheek. She's the perfect example of this to me, because she used to have, and I think she's gotten better now, but a really big problem with people that put themselves out there when they weren't really talented or qualified enough, right? And she didn't like, that kind of arrogance of being overconfident. And the thing is that one of her biggest blocks was that she never put anything out, and she was always really insecure that her stuff wasn't good enough. And in essentially what she needed to take from those people was, maybe not to be as kind of arrogant and blasé as those people, because there's always a balance, but to take some of those traits so she could actually just get there and start and put some stuff out. And she, to me, was always a perfect example, because it's easier to see in other people sometimes than it is in yourself. And it's actually a really, really good way to see your blind spots, is to look at the people that annoy you the most. And in life, generally, this is how we grow, and this is how we know more about ourselves. We know more about ourselves by looking at other people and how we react to other people. It's like I see some people say, oh, I've healed all my triggers because I don't feel triggered anymore when they don't have a relationship. and they really think they're done, and then they meet another relationship and it's like, oh no, actually I do have them. So other people are our perfect mirrors. There are perfect ways to grow, and there are perfect ways to actually see what needs to come up. So, you know, in a sense, people that you are really annoyed by are great, because they're like, there's some real growth in those people. And, you know, that's why relationships are so much growth, because they really trigger those things in us that need to be brought to the surface. So, you know, use these people rather than kind of try and push them away, because then in essence you're pushing parts of yourself away, you know, rather than integrating those parts of yourself. So if you can do the shadow work with those people, you can integrate it inside of yourself as well, and you're not like pushing it away. I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to see it. Which we all do, right? And for me, I believe that the key isn't to just pretend we don't have any judgments and be like, oh, I'm judgment free, but to learn to have a little bit of a laugh with judgments. And then I think you know that you've integrated them. You know, that's why, you know, in comedy there's all the self-deprecating humor. You know, when you can laugh about something, you're not triggered by it anymore. So to me, that's like the real step in judgments between them being a big thing for you and a big trigger, versus being able to just have a little bit of a laugh at the ego and the way everyone's ego plays out, and not take it too seriously. So for me, that's the real point when I know that I'm really starting to integrate a judgment, when I don't get too triggered by it and I don't take it too seriously. I can have a little bit of a laugh about it in myself and in others. I mean, sometimes you might want to do that in your head, because sometimes if you laugh at somebody's judgment, then it doesn't go down very well. And we don't always have to kind of go and put that in everyone's face. You know, so a lot of this can be an inner process, or with people that are on a similar level to you. But that's my little video today on judgment, and bye for now.